Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint a winter landscape. I'm going to have a little tree and some bushes and kind of a lake effect on the water. So yeah, it's going to be pretty easy, I think. I'm going to try to keep it super simple for beginners, and I'll show you step by step how to do it from start to finish. I've got my husband Mark with me. He's been in chat during our live show tonight, so if you have questions while I'm painting, you can ask those and I'll try to answer them. Let's get started. Alrighty, so is my mic working? Mm-hmm. All right, yours not?
No.
Mark is having audio difficulties over there. All right. Well, then it's my show, and I get to say no.
Okay. It's not fair.
I secretly sabotaged you. I'm using an 8x16. I was going to start in sketching here. I didn't even explain what we're doing. 8x16 inch canvas. This is the mixed media board from Fredrix. I like them. They're kind of smooth. We're going to be using a 2-inch Aspen for the background, most of the background work. And then we're also going to be using a number 6 Filbert for some of the other background blending. And if I need another smaller flat, I might grab one. I'm not sure if I'm going to need it or not until I get going. But I think those two should work for the background. And then for the trees, I've got just a few... Oh, got all these different brushes here. I've got a 1/4 inch, 3/8 inch Willow's blender, a 3/8 inch and 5/8 inch Deerfoot Stippler for some of the trees, and I'm not sure if I'll use all of those, but just, you know, some sort of a stiff bristled brush for your foliage, whatever you like to use for that kind of thing. And then I've got a 1/4 inch angle brush. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to need that, but we'll see. And then I've got a couple of brushes for our tree branches. So I've got a script liner and a 10-aught liner for some of the smaller branches. And then I've got a fan brush for some snow and for our grasses. So this is a 10-aught Filbert, or Bristle fan. Not Filbert. Okay. So thank you to Princeton and Princeton, our brush sponsor, and Fredrix, our canvas sponsor, for providing these materials tonight. Let's go over our paints. I've got carbon black, burnt umber, cadmium, yellow light, cobalt teal, ultramarine blue, quinacridone magenta. This is unbleached titanium, titanium white. Both of those are titanium white, and this one is zinc white. And I'm going to also need some glazing liquid, so I'm going to put that out over here on this side. And put a pretty good amount of it out there. That'll just help us blending this background, because we want it to kind of all be sort of smooth blended. It gives it that kind of soft, icy look. And I've got the liquid form of the golden acrylic, so just a more fluid acrylic. I'm going to turn that off because I just saw it turning. I think Alexa was going to try to talk to us there. Did not want to have that happen. She can turn off our lights, so we'll just turn her off for now. This is also the fluid acrylic, so I'm going to use both of those. I'm going to use a mixture of them for our tree branches. It's kind of a medium gray, medium to light gray. It's not quite black, and so I'm going to use those. It'll be easier with the liner brush to use a fluid paint. All right, let's get going here. So really, there's not a whole lot of sketching to be done. There's going to be a tree, and we can kind of figure out where it's going to fit. It's going to fit kind of in this third of our canvas, just about, and it's going to be kind of a triangle shape, and then sort of curve down right over here. So it's about an inch from the top, about 3 or 4 inches, 3 inches or so from the side of the canvas. So this is going to be kind of our canopy shape here, and then our tree trunk is going to be about an inch from the bottom here. So maybe an inch and a half, something like that. So it's going to curve in like that. So we really don't need much except for kind of this line where that tree sits, and I'm not doing it very dark. I'm just using kind of a chalk that I think is going to blend in pretty well. And then they're just above it, there's another line that kind of comes across for the snowbank, sort of on the water. Sort of comes around like that. And then about the third of the way up, so if we kind of split this into 3 parts across, just above that third line, there is going to be a line up here for our horizon, and I'm just going to kind of map that out like that. Maybe, well, I should come down a little bit farther. There we go, something right in there. And then kind of just below it, there's going to be a line that kind of comes in across, and then just below that, about right at the halfway mark, there's going to be kind of a slightly diagonal line that comes up here and goes in this third here. So it's going to kind of curve around like that. And that's going to be our kind of tree bank back in here. And the trees are actually going to go up pretty high, but I'm not going to do all those in. I'm just kind of wanting to have sort of a rough estimate of where our color blocks are going to go, because we're going to have like purple here and kind of more kind of coral color here, and then some white and white all up back in here. So just draw out your major planes so that you kind of have an idea when you're painting this background part where your colors are going to go. All right, I'm going to use just regular water with the water bottle and spray my canvas down. Just want a light spray. You don't need a whole lot of water. Getting a little bit of water and just kind of brushing off the excess there. And then I'm going to grab a good amount of white. Bring it over here. Grab some glazing liquid, and that'll just kind of thin that paint out just a little bit. Make it easier to go on the canvas. Getting a little bit of water, adding that to it too. And I'm just going to start with that up here for now. Right up at the top here where we've got our horizon line. Get some of that going up there. And sort of behind our tree. And I want to put on enough that we're going to kind of move quickly with this. And that's why I'm using a large brush. And then get a little bit of yellow. Just a little tiny bit is all you're going to need. And a little tiny bit of pink. And I literally just touched like this much of the brush. Like a teeny tiny bit. And that's just tinting this color just a little bit. You can see it's a little bit goes a long way with these white on white kind of type paintings. So we're not needing to overwhelm it right off the bat. And I'm just going to kind of slowly introduce more and more color. So getting a little, you can see how much that pink tones that color. And get a little bit more yellow. There we go. So now we've got a nice orange. So I'm going to use that over here. And each time I introduce a new color, I'm just going to try to kind of really blend that into what I've already got going on as much as I can. So I don't have any rough edges. Okay, so let's find our horizon line, which was somewhere in here. I'm going to put this color kind of along that horizon line back here. And it's going to disappear. This area right here is going to stay really light. So just put on enough that it'll do this area right there. And then you want it to kind of stop right about here where our tree is. And then I'm going to kind of zigzag this sort of down in this area where our lake's going to be. Okay, good.
Man, you came up for breath finally. You've just been going solid there. Somebody asked about 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
They don't have zinc white. What could they use?
You can just use regular titanium white, and if you've got glazing liquid, that'll help. But I mean, it's not essential. If you don't have it, what you may do is buy a craft acrylic or something that's like a little bit less opaque than a heavy body acrylic. That'll kind of help with this.
Okay, and then somebody's
So I'm
at,
making a purple there with these the blue and Quinacridone Magenta. Yeah.
somebody's asked where can they get a wide brush like that?
They have, I think they have these at the brush guys. If they don't, I'll contact them and see if they can get them. They've got a new owner. I just got an email yesterday.
Oh,
They were bought by another dude, so I got an email from him.
interesting.
Yeah, so
Well, tell them to get some wide brushes.
yeah, so hopefully he'll be as accommodating as the other owners were. I'm sure they will. All right, so there we go. We got that kind of purple color kind of coming down in here. I'm not really worried about what's going on behind these trees. I'm just going to go ahead and put some of this color in sort of where those are going to be. We're definitely going to be adding other colors in that area, but I'm just kind of, again, trying to keep this sort of blended. If at any time during this process you are finding that your paints are getting kind of sticky or they're not going on smoothly, then it means they're kind of starting to dry. So then just stop and let them dry completely and then continue on this process. So you can always add more paint on top. I'm going to add a little bit of brown to the blue here to make it gray. And I'm not cleaning out my brush in between. If you're finding your colors are getting muddy, you can clean it out. Like if you had too much yellow on your brush and you tried to do a purple, it would definitely get kind of muddy. So just watch that. Gonna get some more white here. So I put down that color, and I'm gonna get the white and kind of, because there's no white down here. So I'm gonna kind of blend this white in around that color. And this area down here is a little bit darker than above. So just getting a little bit more of the blue, and you can see I'm already gone out of my glazing liquid there. A little bit of blue, a little bit of that gray, and I'm mixing it in with all these other colors. Maybe get a little bit more of the blue and pink, magenta, and unbleached titanium. I'm sorry, magenta and ultramarine blue. I don't want to go back to doing that. I was doing that for a while, getting those colors mixed up. Okay, there we go. So I'm just making kind of a dark, kind of a dull purple, grayish purple. And this down here is darker. So as long as we blend it in, we can go as dark as we want, right? We just kind of have to get those edges blended. So it helps that that pink is still wet right here that I'm put down earlier. And I like these canvases because they do stay wet a little bit longer because they don't have they're solid. They don't dry as fast. So it gives you a little bit extra working time when you're doing this kind of project. Although sometimes you want it to dry faster, and it's not so great. But in this case, we're happy because we got lots of time to work with this. And getting some more blue here. What were you saying? But if we can't find it at the brush guys, though, I know that Blick has stuff like that. I know there's a lot of other Blick.com and other retailers have those brushes. So, and depending on what country you're from, if you're from another country, it may be harder to find them, but in the US they should be fairly easy to find online mostly. What were you going to say, Ann?
I was going to say you need to give me a new mic cord here.
Is that what happened? It went out?
Yeah, that's kind of shorting out here at the
Oh,
end,
no.
going in the microphone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But we'll be safe over here. Don't worry about me
Would be okay for now.
for now.
Okay, so now I'm grabbing some of that blue and mixing that together. Both of those blue, the Cobalt, Teal, and Ultramarine. I'm going to put some of that in there. And I think I'm going to switch to my smaller brush now because I'm having a hard time kind of getting those little smaller areas in. So I'm gonna, there we go. And I can feel it getting a little bit sticky along these edges here. So I'm going to get some glazing liquid and just a little bit of that white. Let's see if I can come in this way and kind of just pull those colors into one another a little bit. Yeah, they're not wanting to blend. There we go. And that's fine. I'm just keeping these brush strokes. You can kind of see they're horizontal here. All of this is going to have these horizontal planes. So as long as we have these lines, even if you have a line that comes out, as long as it kind of stays horizontal, you're going to be okay. As long as it's, doesn't have to all be fully blended, like right in here. Okay. And then I'm going to get some more of this darker purple, get a little bit of brown, maybe a little bit of black, a little bit darker. There we go. And I'm just going to kind of put in, these are wet still, so I'm going to work in these kind of dark gray, purplish colored areas for our tree to go on later. Get some white, get some glazing liquid and white, and then just kind of blend out and around it, kind of blend those in. And again, if your background is not wet, you put down a little bit of white or whatever color was back there first, and then do this over the top. And I find that if you're having trouble blending, a lot of times it's because you might get stuck in one area and you're just going over and over and over again one area, and you kind of have an idea of how it's supposed to look, and if it doesn't go on exactly the way you want it to the first time you put it on there, then the tendency is just to kind of keep working on this one area and not move on, just kind of keep blending and blending in one area. And that'll do, it'll definitely lift the color. It'll acrylics, once they start to dry, they'll bond to one another, and they'll bond to your brush, and then you aren't going to end up with a muddy mess. So just keep that in mind when you're working on this, to just kind of work quickly if you can, and try not to get too bogged down in one little area. You've always got time to go back over something and blend it later, blend more color in, or do more to it later. But if you try to do too much on your first layer and just kind of blend in one area, then you're definitely going to have issues, because these acrylics don't want to be messed with while they're drying. And you can only lay down a certain amount of paint in one layer. You've got to let it dry in between layers. So if you're trying to, do your finished layer in one get your painting finished in like one layer, you may end up having trouble. So just keep that in mind when you're working. If it's not exactly the way you want, just keep on moving on. Just don't get stuck in one little area and work and work and work on it for a half an hour, because that way your paint will get tacky. It'll start to stick to each other. You'll get kind of these gummy, weird looking things happening on your paint. You'll get odd textures happening, and it'll make it a lot harder to put on future layers if you do that. So just work in small sections and move on. Even if it doesn't look exactly right how you think it should yet, it will. You've got time to add more layers, but don't try to get it all perfect on the first go. Okay, so I'm going to see, this is getting sticky because it's not blending, it's just sticking to the canvas. So that means I need to let Mark take this and dry it, and then we'll let that whole thing dry, and once it's dry, we can come back and add more layers. Thank you, hon.
Got it.
Hmm?
I got it.
Thank you. So this painting is going to kind of be sort of a, I don't know, they're not necessarily companion pieces, but they are very, very similar. So a lot of the techniques that we did in this one that we did a couple weeks ago are going to be very similar. The background is actually, I think, a little bit easier in maybe the one we're doing today, just because it's all horizontal. I find that it's easier for beginners to do these kind of horizontal blends versus these circular blends that we did in this one. So keep that in mind. If you tried this one and you found it difficult, you might try this one that we're doing today. The only more difficult thing about today's painting is that there's more colors involved in the blending. So you've got the yellow, kind of yellow, pink, purple, blue, so, and then the white sections. So you've definitely got more colors, and whereas in this one we just had the black, blue, and white to blend together. So but anyhow, hopefully you tried this one. I've seen several people painting this one. It's really been turning out nicely. I enjoy seeing you guys painting from our tutorials. And be sure when you do paint from our tutorials that you, if you don't mind, that you mention where you saw the tutorial, how you found the painting. And I see a lot of posts, and sometimes they tag me and they'll say, hey, I painted this, but then they don't actually mention that they painted it from a free tutorial online. And that just helps. So, it just kind of helps spread the word about our channel, let other people know what we're doing. And so I really would appreciate it if you do that. And also tag me. I get a lot of on Facebook and Instagram. I try to go through and see and comment on all the ones that I find. And I have a Facebook group just for that. So I'm trying to kind of clean out my brush here as best I can. I'm trying not to do it in the water. I'm kind of taking the color and pushing it off on the paper towel here. I'm probably going to need a new paper towel over here. So I don't want to leave this brush in the water while I'm painting. So I'm just going to kind of load it up pretty thick with water and just set it off to the side while I'm working on it on the subsequent layers. I think I will get a little bit larger brush. So I think I'm going to grab the number 12 flat, and that'll give me kind of a halfway. It'll be a little bit easier to blend in new colors for this one. So, but hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. We are back from break. We went to Tulsa to see family for the vacation, so we took a few days off. Really just Saturday, but it's been the first Saturday that we've taken off in quite a while, and it was a lot of fun. So, yeah, but we're back, And really, we're going to go strong all the way through December, and we're going to have 2 weeks off at the end of the month. So we're going to have a week in December and the first week in January off for Christmas break. So we got to see Liam, our grandbaby, which is really fun. It was awesome. I'm going to take off most of this color here. Well, let me see. As long as I can keep it wet, it's pretty wet. I think I might still be able to use some of that. I won't take it off yet.
Top corner, maybe a little.
Okay, thank you, hon. All right. What? Oh, Cashmere, is in your chair? Oh, yep, she sure is. What are you doing? You stepped on a tack. Not good? You probably ought to have shoes on.
Oh, it's my fault.
I'm just saying. I told Spencer and you guys to wear shoes in the house. Especially in the studio. You never know what you're going to
There's a
find.
tack on your floor, and so it's my fault.
Right, for not wearing slippers.
I'm gonna file workman's comp, I think.
Sorry, are you okay? Did you have your tetanus shot?
I'm okay. It didn't pierce the skin.
Oh, good, good.
But thanks for being concerned first.
I am concerned. I was just going to blame you and then be concerned.
I can feel the love.
Oh, you didn't hear my concern there? Okay.
It's your own fault for not wearing shoes.
Why are you not wearing slippers? Have I not said that to you and Spencer multiple times?
Okay, so I have slippers on. I took them off so I could move quickly to dry your canvas for you.
Not that slippers
come
would
back.
help against attack, probably.
True.
Probably go straight through anyway, so. All right, here we go.
All right, back to the painting.
Stubborn. Myrtle. Fighting. All right, there we go. So making a kind of a yellowish peach color with the yellow and pink. And I'm going to add some down here too. Okay, so a little bit there. I'm going to wipe my brush off, grab some glazing liquid, grab some white. And kind of blend out the sides there. This is the second layer, so there should be other colors underneath that are also kind of going to affect this. And then I'm going to grab a lot of white right here. Do a whole section of white that kind of goes right on top of this. And I did the darker color on purpose underneath so that now this white is going to kind of give that icy effect. We can kind of put it in here over the top. It's got something behind it and around it that'll make it stand out a little bit more. Okay.
Which a lot of white are you using?
What?
Which a lot of white are you using? Zinc white, titanium white?
Titanium white.
Thank you.
When I just say white, it's just titanium white. If I am using the zinc, I'll mention that it's zinc.
That's what all the cool painters know.
Well, no, I'm just saying if I will make sure that I mention that it's zinc white if I use it. If I don't say if I just say white, then I mean titanium white.
Okay. What if you just say black?
Then it's carbon black.
Okay, these will be test questions later.
Okay.
Did you say hello to everybody?
I did kind of when I was yeah.
Okay.
When you were I was talking about Liam a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I just said we got to go see family. It was nice. But I didn't say anything really major, just kind of that. Okay, getting some blue. Gonna add some kind of icy blue. in here. I'm keeping this area mostly white right in here. And then up in here, I'm going to grab some of this kind of purple-blue mixture and add it up in here. I definitely need to add some more glazing liquid down here, because this what this will do is kind of help me blend in without having to add more paint. I can just add the glazing liquid right there where I want it to blend out, and then that way I don't have to blend in more of that white. Getting some more of that blue, mixing it with my sky color, and there we go. Here we go. Just trying to get it to blend down into a nice soft layer.
We have somebody who's wanting to know, what is glazing liquid?
Glazing liquid is acrylic polymer. It's the stuff that binds the paint together in a fluid form. It's also got a little bit of an extender added to it so that it helps the paint dry a little bit slower, so you can blend with it a little bit better. Now that's golden glazing liquid that I use. Other glazing liquids do not have extender in them, so you might find them a little bit harder to use. You might want to use, like I've seen artists use matte medium, things like that. Basically they're all the same. All those mediums are basically the same. This is that blue here and a little bit of white I'm using. They're just going to be the stuff that binds the paint together. It's in all acrylic paints, but they're just in more concentrated form. And gels are thick, fluids are thinner. So the liquid forms here are going to be thinner, so it'll thin your paints. If you use a gel, it's going to thicken your paints. So they all kind of do different things, but basically they're all the same, unless they have some sort of special additives.
Okay.
So anytime you see medium, acrylic medium, it's going to be basically all the same kind of.
They also want to know, what is kind of the ratio of the glazing liquid to paint that they should be going for?
On the first layer, not much. Like, you're just kind of adding it to allow your paint to flow more quickly, but you don't want to add too much because then it just makes it super transparent. It won't cover your canvas. But now on these subsequent layers, I'm adding more because I want it to be transparent. I want the under layers to show through, and I'm trying to kind of keep it somewhat transparent, so and thinned. I'm also using it like I did up here, kind of like as a blending, clear blending medium, so that I can blend in other colors, or blend it into, so I can take this color and put it in here. So this is kind of a brighter pink, right? Blend it in here, and where I want it to blend in to here, what I can do is kind of wipe my brush clean and grab just glazing liquid and go back over that, and it'll allow me to blend out these edges basically like with clear paint. So I'm just basically using it like clear paint. It's just blending out those edges and like that. So that makes sense. So, all right, so back in here, I want to add a little bit of the darker. I'm going to get a little bit more of that darker and find my horizon line. And I need, I'm curving it, so I need to get some blue here too. I need to try to get it straight-ish. Ooh, that's a little too blue.
But for those non-art people who are watching, glazing liquid is the stuff you put on your donuts to make them awesome.
No,
Yeah, it's...
not in paint, honey.
Well, right, I said for non-art.
Oh, I see.
People.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I don't think Golden makes that, though.
I don't think so either. Now I'm using it here to kind of lift. See, I put that color down, and now I'm lifting off some of the color. Can do that with water too.
Now, your glazing liquid is a matte finish?
No,
No?
it's gloss.
The gloss, so will it make your painting glossier or
It'll
something?
make my painting glossier to make my colors brighter. When you use matte, it dulls your colors. Mattifying paints, matte paints, or matte mediums have more particles that disrupt the... I'm just going back over that whole area there with just a little bit of white to try to blend that all in. They have particles in there that disrupt the shininess, and they also mute the colors a little bit. So your colors won't be quite as bright. You'll have more... okay, I'm going to do a highlight right underneath. There's kind of a layer right here that's going to be trees, so I'm going to do a little highlight right underneath that right there, just like sun shining right there on that area. Cashmere is
She smells the cheese.
talking to us.
She wants the
She wants
cheese.
the cheese that we were eating earlier before the show.
Back my cheese. So the person wrote glossier, but maybe it's glossier. I don't know if it's French sounding or not. Sorry.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's Tuesday. Don't
yeah,
worry about
I
it.
noticed that. Okay, making a light blue here, kind of just equal parts of the teal and ultramarine blues, and then adding white. And I'm going to kind of find my area here and just do my icy snowbank right there. And I'm just turning my canvas so that it's easier to work with. I find that it's a little bit harder to do the horizontal when it's laying square, so I angle it so that I can kind of get a freer movement with my arm. So just, even if you're doing this on an easel, you can still kind of tilt your canvas if you need to. Turn it on its side. Okay, it's pretty. I don't see any more of this blue, but I kind of want to use it up in here maybe a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of dust it right there a little bit. And then maybe kind of a little bit more up in the sky if I can get it on there. It's starting to dry. That was getting sticky, so definitely don't want to mess with that. Okay, I'm going to get some more white here, and I'm going to go right along here with a little bit more of a white version of this. So just added a little bit more white. And if your paint is not laying down, like I can see here, it's not wanting to stick to my canvas, then we just need to let that paint dry, because that just means there's too many layers in there. The paint's too thick and it's not dry yet, so it's not going to want to lay down new color until it's dry. So I'm going to add more just white right here. It's got a little tiny bit of that blue in it, but not much. And kind of just blend that into this area. So just keep working on areas that you haven't worked on yet. So if you are, if you're finding that this area is dry or, wet, then you kind of keep moving to areas that you haven't worked on recently, and you can check it kind of with your finger. You can feel if it's tacky or not. And if it is, then just kind of don't mess with it. But if it's not, then you can paint in there.
Is that why you're touching me all the time?
See if you're still tacky.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Thank you very much.
He's here all week, folks. Can't get rid of him. No, I'm good. What? Did I say that out loud?
Is that why you put the tax out? It's kind of like that Home Alone. set up there.
I did just mention that we should watch that, didn't I?
Yeah, it's a little suspicious now.
I was getting pointers. I forgot.
Test the handle of the door next time I try to come back in.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Just added a little bit of that teal back in there. I really like the teal with purple combo. It's just really pretty. Okay, definitely that blue and purple always reads icy.
Somebody's got a good question. They want to know, why do you draw in all the trees and stuff if you're just going to paint over it?
Well, I just drew in, if you saw, I didn't draw it in completely. I just drew in kind of the basic area that was going in. I didn't spend a whole lot of time on it.
The correct answer is it helps give reference for when you're putting the paint down.
What?
I said the correct answer is it helps give you reference when you're painting.
Exactly.
So that's -2 for you.
Was that what I was supposed to say?
Yes, you got the answer wrong. Sorry.
Okay. Sorry. I didn't know I was being judged.
It's okay.
I should know that. This is YouTube after all, right?
Yeah, we're kind of like the judges at the gymnastic meets.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so just putting a little bit of darker in there. I'm going to wipe that clear. Really, really wipe it off good. Get a little bit of that glazing liquid, and I'm just going to kind of go back over that and try to blend it in a little bit. See that? Blended it out. And I can go back in with a little bit. I just don't want it quite that dark. I kind of put it on a little bit too dark. So put it on, wipe it off, and then, yeah, there we go. Kind of blend it in a little bit. Okay. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some of that brown and blue. Just gonna mix a little bit with the purple underneath and get some glazing medium. Gonna use it down in here where we did before. Let that glazing medium kind of keep it soft and blendy. Cashmere's being really loud purring over here. I can hear her. Cashmere, what are you doing? She's trying to get on your lap, and she's just like looking up. She's hovering over Mark's shoulder.
I ate the last piece of cheese on her. Now she's...
Oh, man. She's just giving you the death stare. Okay. I'm just wiping off any extra. And you don't want thick, especially when I'm doing these kind of like soft blendy areas. I don't want thick paint globbing up any areas. So if you see that, just kind of smooth over it, blend it out a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to kind of do this area here. That's kind of the riverbank's got some darker areas right there. Wiping my brush off, getting some white, a little bit of glazing medium, and kind of going back over, kind of blending back. And if you're getting this color in the areas that you don't want it, then you can just blend, you can just clean out your brush completely if you need to. Okay, I'm going to... There we go. I think we're good. So I want some of this pink that we used up here. I'm going to blend it in. Get some magenta and white. glazing medium. I'm going to wipe most of that off. I'm going to just blend those kind of, that transition area right there. I feel like it's a little too like orange right there, just out of the blue. So just kind of blending a little bit of that pink along the border of it. And again, I've run out of glazing liquid. A lot more of it than normal in this one, just because it's just gonna help blend these areas in. Yep, see how much that just blended that in without having to even try. There we go. Okay. Use a little bit of this darker color that's that color right up in here. Get some of the glazing medium. Blend that in.
Somebody's asked if they don't have Cobalt Teal, what could they use?
You could use phthalo blue. Use phthalo blue and just mix that with a little bit of yellow or phthalo green, and it'll get the same kind of color. Getting pink here. Okay, so this area right here, I want more white, so I'm just going to take white and I'm going to go over this area right there. This is going to be behind my tree. My tree is going to be these colors that I've got here, so I'm just going to try to kind of blend in an area right here that is like that sunlight kind of peeking out around my tree. This should be the last little bit that I need to do on this background before we start adding trees. So, that background of the tree is actually, or the tree itself, even though it's a white tree, it's actually going to be these blues and pinks. And the background is around it is white, and that's what makes it kind of stand out in front for us. So, if we don't have that white behind it, it won't show up. Okay, I think we're happy with that. So let's go ahead and work on this over here. Normally I would take it and dry it, but I think this is dry enough over here that I can kind of add my bushes to it. So I'm going to take my larger of the Deerfoot stipplers, and I'm going to pick up this pink here, some white, and I want it to be just a little bit lighter than my sky color right there. So there we go. See that? And I'm going to go down to about right here in this area where I did the blue. And really you can bring it out just as far as you want to. It doesn't, it's your choice. So this side is going to be a little bit brighter where the sunlight's hitting it. And then back in here, there's going to be a lot of gray. So I'm going to mix up some gray with my burnt umber and blue. And I'm going to start fairly dark back in here. And go ahead and go right along the tree line. Cashmere, what are you doing? She's getting all up in Mark's business. She's finally just decided she was going to get in there. She She wasn't waiting for the okay. She's like, you really need to pet me. I know you're working, but do you have your mic on so they can hear her purring? Okay, getting some white here. So I'm going to go back over some of these gray areas here with the white mixed in. What?
I can't turn my mic on right now.
Why? Oh, she's rubbing all over it.
Yeah.
Do you have the cat cam? You don't, do you?
No, I don't.
Let me just set up side cam so people can see this. It's pretty entertaining. Okay, while he does that, I'm gonna get some of the black and white, the fluid, mix them together. So make it. This is what Mark's dealing with right now. Cashmere, what are you doing? I love this microphone. This is my microphone. Oh my gosh, so weird. All right, using the smaller brush here, and this, if it's like overwhelmingly dark, then you probably have it too dark. Just add a little bit more white. It should be fairly dark though. We're gonna put other colors over the top, so don't worry about where it starts. So over here, I'm gonna go a little bit lighter, and I'm gonna do lots of little limbs in here. I don't know if people can see this or not. We can maybe zoom in if we need to. Move it over so you can zoom in.
Okay.
And there's all these branches that are kind of just bare. It's just ice sticking on them, so we're just going to kind of do a bunch of little random branches out here. And then some of them we're going to do a little bit thicker. Just a few of them, kind of a little bit thicker, kind of down where they start down here at the bottom. Very tree-y. Okay, good. And they're all kind of what? Is she knocking it off its thing?
Yeah. It's not working. Oh, there it is. It's working again.
They're doing some of them kind of curved. They seem to be kind of windswept. They're getting kind of blown in with that lake there. I'm going to get some white and I'm going to put some white down here, and I think that's good. So now I'm going to switch to a little bit smaller brush so that I can kind of control where I'm putting my greenery, or my iciness.
Your whitery.
My whitery. Getting some of that pink, getting some of the white, and I'm going to tap over some of these. You can see what I'm doing, kind of just obscuring sort of where the branches are. You can zoom in even more, I think.
It didn't like your hand. It was
Oh, really?
going out of focus.
Oh, okay. Okay, then Don't zoom in. I'm going to get a little bit of that gray from the trees.
I'm coming back in.
And I'm going to use it right here and just kind of scrub right at the bottom of the tree line where the ice and snow meet, or the trees and snow meet.
Oh, I thought you were singing that song. Sorry.
What song?
The song we were listening to just before
Oh,
the show started. The immigrant
The
song.
land of the ice and snow, midnight, whatever. I don't know those words.
I know that. I know that part.
Oh, I'm getting ready for this.
Sounds just like it.
Listening to Led Zeppelin. Okay, am I on cam? I've been on camera, or am I?
I don't care. I'm
on
singing.
camera?
It doesn't matter.
Kind of does.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, it does. Okay, I'm gonna wipe this.
You have such strict rules on this show.
Kind of does. Mm. Okay, I need to clean off my palette because I'm having a real hard time finding clean places to mix paint here. So just working that out there. Like that. And then, so I need it nice and dark back there. Even a little bit darker. And I'm going to just kind of tap and scrunch kind of some grasses along that snow line right there. Just getting the same color that I used for the trees there, and just kind of doing it down low. Right. And I'm going to use some of it up higher too, up in here, kind of where the end of the tree trunks meet the ground. Just add some darker area there, and then what we'll do is put some snowy on top, and it'll push that back like magic. It's like magic. You watch. So we have this weird transition right here. So we're gonna I'm gonna get the fan brush. I'm gonna take the white paint, and I'm gonna add a little bit of the pink, if I can get any that's still wet. There we go. Okay, and set it down and flick it up. Now see, we've got that dark there. It's pushing all of those trees back. And now we have this little area of grasses in front and our trees behind. I'm gonna get some blue, mix that in, do some of it with blue. Maybe just like right down in here. And I'm gonna get some of that dark gray and kind of just break up some of that solid pink. Some of it got a little solid when I put it on. And then I'm going to get some white and do some little bits with white. use the white sparingly because you don't want it over. That's where your eye is really going to go. So you kind of want to save it for the most impact. So right in here, there's some sunlight hitting these ones. And then I'm going to just break this side to side with the fan brush a little bit. Okay. All right, let me use this now. Get some white here, and I'm gonna
Okay, I'll let you.
tap some tree branches in with the white over the top. So wherever you're seeing kind of some, maybe some tree branches that need to be softened up, maybe they're kind of poking out, don't look like they're kind of going anywhere. You can use that. I'm going to get some pink. Do some of them with the pink. Like we did up there. Okay. Ugh. Right into my paint. Just did a flip right into the paint. It's like
I'll give that a
suicidal
6.
brush. Yeah, exactly. Okay, now taking this brush and just doing just the very tip of it with the pure white. Okay, and then we're gonna pop some bright highlights on just a few of these. There we go. Okay, that's just about all we need to do. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's move on down here. So I'm going to use this brush with that white. I'm just going to kind of go side to side in here. Add some kind of snowy reflections on our water. Now this time I'm not worried about being blended in, and I'm actually going to grab the Zinc White for this. I want the Zinc White because it's transparent. So it'll kind of add some. I'm getting the glazing liquid too. It's going to add kind of a little bit of softness. So you'll still be able to see through that background color. My paint is not, it's too sticky. You may want to wait to do that. A little bit too sticky. Okay, let me do this. I'm gonna clean off my palette here. Just have a lot of paint that's drying and no place to mix my colors anymore. Wipe all of that off. How's everybody doing?
Hi.
Where did Cashmere go?
She's on the box behind me.
Okay, we need to close my closet door so she shouldn't get in there. She found a little perch in the box.
Yep, right next to the laundry basket.
Nice.
Don't ask why we have a laundry basket in the studio.
Because we got a new one for our room and I didn't know where else to put it. I thought I could put like rolls of old stuff in it. I don't know.
Like
I have one in there already. I have one in here already with rolls of paper and my like papers and stuff. I don't know. Who knows the mind of Angela? Nobody wants.
Yeah, if somebody could tell me, I've been trying to figure it out for 34 years.
You may need it, so, I'm trying to get over my pack rat ways, but I'm still pretty much a pack rat when it comes to studio. Because it may take 10 years, but then I'll find a use for something. Which is not a good system. I probably need to just get rid of stuff and buy it again if I need it. So that's the yard sale we're having this year.
It was a classic case of Angela when we were packing up the studio to move for the reno.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm digging stuff out from the deep recesses of her closet that I know she hasn't seen in years.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, yeah, I used that for ba-ba-da-da-da-da. I'm like, how do you remember that? First of all, why?
I knew where it was. I just didn't need it yet.
Okay, so somebody has asked the question.
Okay.
I knew it was coming.
All right.
As soon as you started scraping.
Uh-huh.
And I got to find the answer.
The palette?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know the name of it, but it's a glass palette from
It is
Amazon.
please hold. Oh, man. What happened? Seriously? I had a screen grab of it at one time. I'll go get it.
Okay.
It's a Posh something palette. It's in our Amazon store. Click the
Yes,
link
it
down
is.
below. Go to the Amazon art store, and it's one of the first things in there.
Yes, it is. All right, adding some yellow here, just a tiny touch of pink. And I'm gonna, for some reason, my fan brushes and my brushes are not doing grasses very good tonight.
Okay, it is called the New Wave Posh Glass Artist Palette.
Okay. I didn't buy it. Somebody sent it to me. One of the viewers, Lori, I think, sent it to me, which was really great. I didn't know that I needed this in my life until she sent it, so it's been great. I've enjoyed it. All right, so added a little bit more fluid to my fan brush. Just makes the paint a little bit easier to work with. Yeah, that's better. And load it up pretty thickly. That's the key with fan brushes. There we go. And then there is little... There we go. So just a little bit of yellow, mostly over here, but I added a little bit back there too. But this area is getting caught by the sun that's right in here. I'm going to go ahead and kind of put that in there, sort of where the sun's going to be, and grab some white and add that. It's actually going to be higher than our horizon line. It's okay. I figured that out all by myself. So it's going to be over here above our horizon line. Check. Yeah, no problem. Don't look over here. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and bring out some of this yellow right here, because it's kind of hitting that ice there. And then I'm going to make some of this color, this purpley color for our trees back here. So I'm just going to kind of try to get it as close to this color that we had before. And just do some little bitties back in here. Not doing a whole lot of detail on them. I don't like these new Willow's blenders. Sorry, Princeton. I'm gonna get my old one. Much easier to use. And get a little bit more of the blue. Maybe get my fan brush. And you notice I haven't watered down my fan brush, because what happens is it's kind of that hog bristle, and it gets soggy when you add water to it. So I'm trying not to wet it if I can help it. I did add a little bit of it earlier, but dry it off really good. Just want to keep it as dry as possible. The Willow's blenders, you don't have to worry about that. They don't get soggy. Okay. And that's a little too dark. I'm getting some white here. There we go. Yeah, that's better. So kind of an icy blue, and just using that in here and adding just this is honestly, you could leave that out, I guess, but it does add a little bit to our composition. So what time is it? Oh man, we're late. Okay, need to get going here. Taking my time.
Your own sweet time.
Well, I wondered about this one. I'm taking too much time for some stuff that doesn't need to be taking this much time.
Yeah, how dare you teach people how to paint? I mean, I'm here to talk about food and stuff.
Well, it's a Tuesday night, though. I'll try to keep these short.
As long as you're done by 8 o'clock, that's all that matters.
That's true. That's Oak Island.
Oh, yeah, baby. They're finding it this week. I know they are.
I don't think so. I think I've given up hope.
I mean, once they found the switches,
Treasure Hunter show.
where they're all set now.
How many years have we been watching that show?
I don't know, 4
and
or
they've
5
only found like buttons and
switches.
weird things. Bones.
They found switches.
Switches?
Swedges.
Okay. Did I need to know what those were? That's what I'm wondering. Is my life better for knowing that?
Okay, so it's no Willow's blender, but come on, seriously. I mean, what if they unearthed one of those?
Oh, now then, that would be interesting.
Would that be
okay?
treasure?
I mixed up some gray. I still have that pink in my brush. Mixed up some gray with the burnt umber. And I'm getting lots of glazing liquid because I don't want this to be too dark. And I'm going to add back in. It's going to be just above this line right here. So I'm going to add back in something right there. Okay. And there, and I'm going to get my little bitty liner and go ahead and put in a couple of tree trunks. Do not do this if it stresses you out. Just if you want it to, you can. Like, this is your painting, so make it as simple or as complicated as you want. Doesn't have to be the same as mine. It'll look just as good without the tree trunks.
So, which winter camouflage will you be painting on the tank?
What?
So, which winter camouflage will you be painting on the tank that you're adding?
You haven't been playing that game anymore, so I'm not worried about tanks anymore. Last year you were playing it all the time, but
Well, because
I
my
haven't played it in a while.
Xbox Live, I let it expire because we were doing this remodel thing.
Oh, you didn't have time to play.
No. I blame it on you.
Mm-hmm. But it looks nice. It's done. Mostly, we just have to unpack now.
Yeah, our poor son has got like 12
I
boxes still
know.
in his
He needs to
room.
get those out of there. All right, so I made a dark purple here, just the blue, mostly blue, a little bit of pink and burnt umber here. I'm just gonna use it over here, and I'm still just using this Willow's blender. I'm gonna use some glazing liquid, and you may not have to do this. Mine's a little bit too light, so I didn't put it in dark enough. So yours might be dark already. So if it is, you don't need to do this. Just kind of look at yours and see what you think. I'm gonna put in this dark kind of right underneath where this snowbank is, right there. See how that worked? The glazing liquid is helping keep that paint from looking too solid. Getting that glazing liquid out and just kind of blending that in so we got some softness happening. See, and then what we can do is go back over all of this with that zinc white later, just to make it more icy looking. So I'm gonna, there we go. All right, gonna grab some white and go on this side of that blue and add my white right there. And I really want some blue to mix those two blues together, my white. The Ultramarine Blue is more of a purple blue, so if you want it more purple, just add more of that. If you want it more of the teal color, add more of the Cobalt blue. So just whatever color you're trying for. Kind of want it sort of right in the middle. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and use some of this blue up in my trees too. I'm seeing a little bit of it up here. So it would make sense that it would show up here too. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to grab the zinc white and pretty thick here. Blend that over. Getting some of this blue. I'm going to use it down in here too. In my water. Just in a few areas, kind of just dusting it in different places. Adding more of the blue, kind of unifying the painting. All right, so let's use our number 2 liner, script liner. And I'm going to mix some more of that black and white together, make a dark gray. Add just a little bit of the Quinacridone Magenta to it. Seeing just a little bit of kind of a magenta color to it. Add a little bit of the glazing liquid. Go a little bit darker. Okay, so our tree is living right here. We've got our little spot for it already kind of mapped out, and I'm gonna and if I add enough water to, or thin enough here, I can get a pretty good line with this brush. And where I want it thicker, I can just kind of go back over and do a second line next to it. This is where, if you wanted to, you could use the angle brush to do that instead. So I'm going to do some that there. Cashmere's meowing.
Somebody would like to know why or what is the purpose of the placement of the blues?
The blues? Here?
I guess so.
That's, I think it's supposed to be like a riverbank or something.
Or like icy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is right. It's like the sun reflecting, giving you that bluish
Right.
off the snow.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to grab a little bit of this gray on my thing. I'm seeing there's a little bit of grasses poking out right here, so I'm going to grab, just going to set them down and tap right there. Grab a little bit of the white and tap out in front. Cashmere. Shh. Shh. Oh, I shouldn't have said her name now. She's like, you heard me. Cashmere, stop. She's trying to get Mark's attention. She's been very annoying lately and during the shows. Very needy. She did this when Scooter passed away. I wonder if she knows that Oliver's sick. Or other cat's really sick. Probably not going to last much longer. She got real weird, and when our dog died last year, she started hanging out. She never hung out in the studio before that. Animals are, don't know. Anyhow, okay, sorry. May be depressing. It's kind of sad, though.
So like and subscribe.
Hear about our animals and
join Patreon.
yeah.
Thanks thank you to all
Sorry,
the
guys.
Patreon supporters. We had the largest month ever last month.
I know, amazing.
Incredible.
Y'all are,
Mind blowing.
yes. Make our, just unreal. All right. All right, just making this kind of funky tree here. It kind of has this one branch that's sort of going out on its own. I'm going to grab my Willow's blender again and make up some, I don't need a lot of it. I'm just going to get some white and pink here. Just a little bit of pink. Lots, or I say pink, magenta. And I'm going to top over and just going to pull to the side, create some bark texture on my tree. And if you want to get real fancy with it, you could do a little bit of blue on one side and a little bit of pink on the other, but really this one's kind of, you're not seeing a whole lot of detail. Okay, I'm going to get some white and tap in there. I added some of that dark color from the tree trunk on the ground, and I'm just going to tap in some white kind of below the grasses and through the grasses. It's just some icy sticks and things right there. You can create some grasses over through here, just some different areas. There. And then I'm going to grab my, I'll go ahead and use the smaller of the two. And grab the white and a little bit of the Ultramarine Blue. I want it just a little bit darker than that white that's back there. So, if you can't see it against the white, then you just need to add a little bit more color. I'm going to add a little bit of the teal too. So kind of almost equal parts, those two blues. There we go. There we go. Okay. See that?
Some people are concerned about your brushes in the water.
Okay. Thank you. Save them from drowning. I need to keep them damp, but they don't need to sit in the pool. Okay, getting some more white here. Just kind of have a little bit of both colors, so double loading my brush. I've got a little bit of the dark color back here, and then I'm adding a little bit of the white on the tip. That just kind of saves me from time from having to... Oh, I'm going to get some of this gray that we used for our branches too, and use that back in here. And if you want more of like a linear looking like branches, you could use this and do like what we did on that other tree that we did, this blue one here, where we do, if you want kind of more icy lines, you can either use your fan brush for that. I think we used our fan brush, or you can use this brush here and gonna do some lines like that. I think that probably give us a good, like, start out with this one just to kind of fill in some major areas, and then you can switch to this brush. To do some more of the details. And some white and a blue. And just tapping back and forth. Okay, and then down over here, there's what. Okay, gotta get some of that pink again. There's a pink color.
So is it okay if
Add
somebody...
a little bit of the blue to it, make it purple. What?
I was just going to ask if is it okay if somebody wants to tap forth and back?
It makes all the difference. Back and forth, back and forth.
Okay, it has to be back and forth.
Back, it has to be.
Okay, so that's a pro tip you don't get anywhere else.
You're a mess.
Thank you.
I need to feed you soon.
So, if somebody wanted to know, does the Deerfoot brush get soggy like the fan brush?
No. The Deerfoot, yes, it does. Yes. This one doesn't. The blenders don't. Those blenders don't. Okay, so using and I'm putting a lighter version of this over the top, but really it's that pink that we're seeing. We're not seeing the white, even though it's a white tree. It's that background. We want that background to be light enough that we can see these colors over the top. So we're kind of putting darker colors over the top of it. So if you're not seeing it show up, then just go a little bit darker with your colors. So I'm going to get a little bit of blue, add that to my color here, and add some purple. Yeah, we're getting pretty close. And gonna get some cobalt teal here and some white. I still have this pink on my brush, so it's kind of blending with it. It's not dark enough. There we go. Maybe even darker. So this side's blue and this side's kind of pinkish. So right about in the middle here, we're going to kind of transition over to the pink. Get a little bit of that gray and mix it with the blue. Let's mix it. And that's black and white, so I'm just mixing black and white with ultramarine here. There we go. Kind of an icy blue. And take your time and build this up slowly, because what can happen is you can end up with like a solid tree with none of the background showing through if you do too much too soon. So if you add too many, if you press down too hard, you have too much paint on this brush when you first do it on here, then you could end up with kind of just a big solid mass of color, which if that happens, you can always go back in and add some lighter. So I could go back in and add some white dabs here and there just to simulate that background color peeking through. So, you know, that's not the end of the world if it happens, which it probably will, you know, depending. Okay, so now that I've got some darkness there, I'm going to go ahead and try to do just a few little areas with just a little bit of white. And it's not pure white because I've got other colors in my brush. But I'm just trying to pick some of the darker areas where I think that this will show up. Okay, like that. Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Awesome.
How are you doing?
Good. You want to go start hot water or tell Spencer to
Ooh,
start a
yeah,
pot of hot water
I can
for?
do that. Are you going to stay on camera?
I'll try.
All right, don't blame me if you go off camera.
Okay, well, I'll be good.
Now, what's the recipe for hot water?
Oh. 6 cups. You got to measure it.
Come on. Come on, Jeremy.
All right, gonna get my yellow. I need to clean out my brush. And now I'm going to try to create this kind of glow around my tree. So I'm going to grab my Zinc White because it's transparent. I'm going to get some of this yellow here and add just a little bit of it. And I'm going to pick my area right up in here and try to add kind of a glow peeking through my trees right there. And then grab my bright white and tap that where that bright white is. It's not going to show, I don't know, it's not showing up very good on this tree, so I think it's because the colors are so subtle. It's a little bit harder to see what's... So if you want to leave that part out, I don't know. I'm not in love with that, how that's looking, so I may just do away with it. And you could always put your sunset over here where it's not poking through your tree. Somewhere. I'm going to get some yellow here and add it to my pink and use it over here and kind of use it around my sunset area. So that area has been kind of tinted with that yellow from the sun. There we go. That's a little bit better. It's a little softer, I think. And I'm going to go ahead and grab some white, bright white, and dab in some of that. Go ahead and put a little bit more on my tree trunk here, if I can get it on there. Get it to stick. I think I'm just about done here, hon. I think so. Pretty happy with how it's turning out. And you can always add a little bit of the gray to this pink too. Kind of like we did over here with the blue. Do some of that over here to add some... Uh-oh. Yeah, she sounds frantic, kind of like she's scared almost. And she's not... She's being insecure.
What is it? You got her okay.
That was probably Spencer picking her up, making that yowl. Okay. Mixing up some more of my gray. So now I'm going to just go back over here and find some areas where I want my tree trunks to show. So I'm just going to add some of my tree trunk back in here and there.
So while you do that, we'll talk a little bit about Patreon.
Yeah. We got our bonus video this weekend. We're doing it first weekend. Get it done. The 8th, right? Is it this weekend?
Yes, yes it is. Yep.
So we do a bonus video once a month for patrons.
For the $5 and $10 levels.
Yeah, $5 and $10 and up levels. So if you want to get in on that, we do it on Sundays. Either the first or the second. Well, it would be the second Sunday of the month. So
True.
Yeah.
True.
Usually the second Sunday of the month. So that's why it's this week. So, and we're going to be painting. What are we painting?
I don't know. I got an email about it. Let me look at my emails.
That's sad that I don't even know what I'm painting.
Whoops.
We're painting a barn. Snowy barn. Yes, I remember now.
Yes, Christmas barn.
Yeah, it should be fun.
So there's different levels at Patreon. There's a $1 level that gives you access to the traceables. So like for this one here, in the next day or two, there'll be a traceable for it. And it goes back to all the traceables back to February 2017.
Yes.
The $5 level is that plus access to that bonus video and photos, right?
Say what?
And photographs also.
$5 level, yes, they get photographs of the finished paintings plus the traceables plus the bonus video.
And then $10 gets all that plus the Facebook group.
Facebook group and they get their own weekly, their own challenge painting that we work on all month long in a weekly chat.
Yep.
That's private just for them. So, and yeah, they've got their own Facebook group where they can get critiques and all kinds of other fun stuff. So they get to pick the bonus videos. They do I do polls in there, so they have a lot of influence on what we paint.
And so we've learned also that Patreon is going to be doing some upgrades or something.
Yes, they
Shortly.
are. I think sometime this month they're actually going to have search function added. Thank the Lord. Finally, so you can actually search by name instead of having to use the tags that don't work. Or should I say they work, but they're endless scrolling to find stuff. So no more endless scrolling. If you've not been on Patreon because it was so hard to use, then hopefully try again.
And then
Their
people,
website's hard to use, not the traceables.
right?
We should make that clear.
And people can hop over to your Thankful Art group, or is your free giveaway still going on?
What giveaway? Oh yeah, the video. Yep. Yeah, sign up for the newsletter and you get a free bonus video, the Mandarin duck.
Oh yeah.
I'm just adding white here. Just kind of scraping white here and there. Yeah, so got all kinds of fun stuff coming up this month. All right, I think let me do just a little bit more right here on this tree, the pink. Go in some with some white over the top. Just a little bit. So we kind of covered up our branches, and then now I'm just kind of making sure that they look like they're integrated pretty well. So just kind of covering up sort of where they start and stop a little bit. And then if you feel like you need to, I think I already did pretty good right there, but if you feel like you need to, you can grab some of your zinc white, or if you need it to be darker, get your titanium white, and then just kind of go side to side and using a scraping brush kind of helps you get that texture that you're kind of that icy texture.
That's the blender.
You want it to kind of break up on the canvas like that. Yeah, this is the Willow's blender. And if you need, if you're needing to do this close to your tree, you may need to do this before you put your tree in, but I already kind of had mine pretty well set behind the tree. So now I'm just adding a little bits of white, sort of like little icy reflections on my water.
And can I do a public service announcement real quick
Can you
too?
do what?
Can I do a public service announcement?
Yes.
Okay, so if anybody gets fruitcake for Christmas that they don't want, our P.O. box is just down below this video. Just
Not kidding.
Just send it to that P.O. box.
He's not kidding.
Because I know there are a lot of people out there who don't like it, but I still
He
think
loves
they're
that
okay
nasty
people.
Crap. What? Did I say that out loud?
So just saying. I'm trying to do my part for the world.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what that could possibly do, but all right.
Well, I mean, a lot of people, they get fruitcakes. They don't like them, but they don't want to be, rude to their friends and family and loved ones and say, oh, no, I
And
don't
throw
want
it out.
this. They can just regift it, and I won't mind at all. Depends on if I get like 600 pounds of fruitcake.
Mm-hmm. Mark likes all the gross stuff at Christmas. Fruitcake, eggnog. What else? I don't know. All right, so we kind of have the indication of sort of a riverbank right there-ish. It's not like, it's very kind of abstracted. I think that this was a compilation kind of photoshopped photo, so I don't think it was like, like an accurate, just, river. But yeah, we get the idea, hopefully. Kind of get that feeling here from our sort of bank and all this cloudiness happening. You can zoom out there, honey, or whatever we need to do there. And yeah, wow, this was a long one. So we're going to get off of here. Say thank you so much. And, oh, got a super chat. All right. So I'm seeing that I think I could go a little bit darker on my tree. So I'm going to add a little bit more. Go ahead while you talk.
Yeah. You're just talking over my cowbell.
Go for it.
You said you're done, and then you started
I know, sorry.
talking over it. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I know.
So we had one super chat tonight,
Awesome.
and it's from Dalyana, Dalyana. I apologize for butchering your name. Says, thank you so much for all you do.
Oh,
You have inspired me to paint, and as a result, it has opened a creative side of me that I didn't know existed. Thank you for all your hard work and support.
thank you so much.
Thank
wow.
you.
That's really sweet.
It is.
I'm so glad to hear that. That makes my day. That's exactly what it's all about. All right,
Oh, I
just
thought the
add a
hokey
little bit.
pokey.
Huh?
Thought the hokey pokey was what it was all
it's
about. Sorry.
Okay. Oh my God. All right, we're getting out of here. Sorry about that, folks. I wonder why I'm apologizing. You should be.
No, but Kashmir does want to apologize for all the cats that she woke up while she was meowing during the show. And that's not a joke. She
You've
really
been
did.
waking up everybody's cats.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love it. Alrighty, we're gonna get off of here, and oh, I see more blue down here. So
Okay, if you're new to Angela's channel,
this is not new.
this isn't abnormal. When she says she's done, she's not done. When she says we're going to get out of here, we still got a few more minutes. So,
Okay, no, I'm done. For real, for real, for real.
so just go
We're
get
done.
another cup of coffee, sit back. You won't miss anything, really. She hasn't
right.
signed it yet, so don't
Oh, that's
fall
right.
for that.
Thank you.
And what are you using?
I'm using my Pigma Sakura pen. Here, I'm going to go ahead and sign it in black.
And
though
even
it's
when
kinda
she
dark.
signs it, she'll still be painting on it afterwards.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm done. Don't listen to him. All right, guys. Thanks. Go take the side thing off so they can see the whole painting. There we go. All righty. Yeah, that turned out fun. So, yeah, I like it. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, people do love it.
I think it's pretty easy. One thing I would suggest is go a little bit lighter than I did in your background back in here. Like I still didn't quite get it light enough, I think, maybe. Because I feel like it could, it would help to be able to see that tree a little bit more. But yeah, it worked out, I think. So if you do this, you can share it with me. If you do paint this and share it on your social media, be sure to tag me and also let people know where you found the tutorial. Just kind of mention us if you don't mind. That really helps us kind of get the word out about our videos and let other people know what we're doing. Give a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. All right.
And Saturday we'll be back at 2 p.m.
Yes,
to
2
paint
p.m.
the child at the window.
Yes, child at the window. It's going to have a little Santa in the silhouette, and it's for our Aussies since they are in summertime. So, it's like a non-winter Christmas painting. It's hard to find those, so think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right, thanks guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.